There comes a moment when self-belief doesn't disappear in one dramatic event. It fades through countless small disappointments, one setback after another, dreams that didn't work out, relationships that ended, trust that was broken. You poured your heart into people who never appreciated your effort, and you invested hope in situations that left you feeling empty. Over time, simply trying to survive made you question everything about yourself, your abilities, your choices, your courage, even your identity. Now, when you face your reflection, a single question echoes in your mind: am I still capable? The answer is absolutely yes. Not because the road suddenly became smooth, not because fear no longer exists. The answer is yes, because despite everything you faced, there's still a spark inside you that refuses to go out. That quiet determination is proof that your story isn't over. Every hardship you've endured has carried a lesson. Every challenge has served a reason. Those difficult seasons weren't sent to erase your potential, they were preparing you to discover it. Growth has never been born inside comfort. Pressure develops resilience. Struggles create wisdom. Loss teaches perspective. Sometimes life has to shake your confidence so you can rebuild it on a stronger foundation, one that isn't dependent on praise, popularity, or other people's opinions. Real confidence comes from character, faith, discipline, and the battles you've already survived. Too often, people spend years waiting for someone else to validate them, waiting to hear you're talented, waiting for recognition, waiting for permission to believe they are enough. But how much of your life are you willing to sacrifice while chasing approval from people who are still trying to understand themselves? The reality is simple. People are inconsistent. They'll applaud you when everything is going well and question you when life gets difficult. They'll stand beside you when success is visible and disappear when challenges arrive. That's the nature of people. They change. Opinions shift. Crowds move on. But your purpose isn't controlled by any of that. Your calling doesn't vanish because someone underestimated you. Your potential doesn't shrink because another person couldn't recognize it. Your worth isn't determined by someone else's perspective. Far too many lives are spent pursuing applause instead of purpose. They become so focused on winning acceptance that they slowly lose sight of who they really are. True confidence can never be borrowed from someone else's belief in you. If your self-worth depends on another person's approval, it can disappear the moment their opinion changes. External validation is temporary. Internal conviction is lasting. Some individuals will encourage your journey, others will criticize it. Some will immediately understand your vision, while others will dismiss it without giving it a chance. That's beyond your control, and it always will be. Don't allow another person's limited perspective to define your limitless potential. A priceless gem remains valuable whether anyone notices it or not. Real strength doesn't disappear because it's overlooked. Purpose doesn't stop existing because someone failed to recognize it. That's why you must know exactly who you are, not only during seasons of success, but especially when life becomes difficult, when opportunities disappear, when support grows silent, when plans collapse. Those are the moments that reveal what you genuinely believe about yourself. Life will challenge your confidence again and again. It will force you to answer questions no one else can answer for you. Will you continue believing in yourself when nobody else does? Will you keep moving when there is no applause waiting at the finish line? Because many of your greatest victories will happen in complete silence. No audience, no celebration, no recognition. Just you making the decision to show up one more day. People admire success, but they rarely witness the discipline behind it. They celebrate achievements without seeing the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, the early mornings, the difficult choices, and the private struggles that made those victories possible. Real transformation happens quietly. Confidence grows quietly. Self-respect is built every time you honor the promises you make to yourself. Every moment you refuse to quit despite the temptation, you become stronger. Every time fear tells you to stop, but purpose urges you forward, you strengthen your character. Nothing powerful develops without resistance. Muscles grow by overcoming weight. Character grows by overcoming adversity. Faith grows by overcoming uncertainty. So stop waiting for permission to become the person you're capable of becoming. Stop making yourself smaller so others feel more comfortable. Stop questioning your gifts simply because someone failed to appreciate them. You don't need anyone's approval to pursue the life you were meant to live. Your greatness has never required permission. It only requires your decision to keep moving forward. You don't have to wait for anyone's approval before choosing a better life. You don't need permission to follow the path you know you're meant to take. Keep walking, keep building, keep learning, keep showing up, keep trying again, even when no one understands what you're doing, especially then. People often doubt what they've never experienced themselves. Your dream is yours to protect. Your calling is yours to fulfill. Your journey belongs to you alone. There will be days when the road feels lonely. Days when believing in yourself seems harder than ever. Days when doubt speaks so loudly that it tries to silence your confidence. In those moments, remember everything you've already survived. You faced impossible days and made it through. You've endured seasons that once seemed unbearable. You've carried burdens nobody else could see. You've fought silent battles that required incredible strength. Every challenge you've overcome is evidence that you're far more resilient than fear wants you to believe. Believe in yourself. Believe in the work you've put in. Believe in the lessons every struggle has taught you. Believe in the discipline you've developed. Most importantly, believe in the person you're becoming. Real confidence isn't created because someone tells you that you're capable. It grows every time you prove to yourself that giving up is not an option. If you have to walk alone, then walk alone. If you have to stand by yourself, then stand with confidence. Keep moving forward regardless of who chooses to join you. One day, the same people who doubted your journey may wonder how you found the courage to continue. Your answer will be simple. The day everything changed was the day you stopped asking others to define your worth and started recognizing it for yourself. Yes, you've made mistakes. Every person does. You've trusted people who didn't deserve your loyalty. You've stepped through doors that should have remained closed. You've offered kindness where only painful lessons were waiting. There were warning signs you ignored and instincts you chose not to follow. Deep inside, something whispered that things weren't right, but hope convinced you otherwise. You believed people would change. You believed situations would improve. Sometimes our deepest desires can cloud our judgment. You've fallen. You've failed. Maybe it happened more times than you're comfortable admitting. Maybe those memories still replay in your mind when everything becomes quiet. The opportunity you missed. The decision you regret. The relationship that left scars. The chapter of your life you wish had never happened. You wonder what you should have said, what you should have done differently, who you could have become if only you had learned sooner. Regret can become incredibly heavy. If you carry it long enough, It starts feeling like part of who you are. But hear this clearly. Your mistakes are meant to educate you, not imprison you. Read those words again. Your mistakes are meant to educate you, not imprison you. You were never created to spend your life trapped inside your worst decisions. Your future was never designed to be an endless punishment for your past. Life teaches through experience. It corrects. It molds. Pain carries lessons. Failure carries lessons. Disappointment carries lessons. Some of the greatest wisdom you'll ever gain arrives disguised as mistakes. The issue isn't that you stumbled. The issue isn't that you failed. The real danger is believing that failure gets the final say. It doesn't. One wrong choice cannot erase your potential. One difficult season cannot rewrite your destiny. One setback cannot reduce your value. Stop carrying guilt into places where it doesn't belong. Guilt has a purpose to wake you up, to teach you, to reveal what needs to change. But it was never meant to become the place where you permanently live. Many people are trying to move toward a brighter future while dragging the weight of yesterday behind them. That isn't how healing works. You can't sprint toward your purpose while chained to regret. You can't recover while reopening the same emotional wounds every day. You can't become someone new if you constantly identify with who you used to be. You made mistakes. Learn from them. Then leave them behind. Learn the lesson. Then keep moving. Growth requires action. Growth requires courage. Growth requires brutal honesty, not excuses, not denial, but the willingness to face the truth. Study your failures, accept responsibility, own your choices, but never confuse your mistakes with your identity. Those are two very different things. You can take responsibility without tearing yourself apart. You can admit where you were wrong without believing you have no value. You can become wiser without carrying shame for the rest of your life. Too many people spend years punishing themselves over a single chapter, one wrong decision, or one painful season. Don't allow the version of yourself from 5 years ago to decide who you'll become tomorrow. You're not the same person anymore. You've experienced more. You've learned more. You've grown more. Growth changes people. Pain changes people. Wisdom changes people. The person who made those mistakes was working with limited knowledge, limited experience, and limited perspective. Today, you know more than you did then. So live differently. That's what growth looks like. That's what maturity looks like. Stop expecting perfection from yourself. Perfection was never the goal. Progress is. Growth means learning, getting back up, and refusing to let failure write the ending of your story. Do you know what real strength looks like? It's standing tall after embarrassment tried to break you. It's choosing to begin again after disappointment told you to quit. Real strength isn't pretending you've never failed. Real strength is looking at your life with complete honesty and saying, yes, I made mistakes. Yes, I got things wrong. But I learned, I changed, and I'm still growing. That kind of honesty takes genuine courage. Every day, countless people wear a smile while quietly carrying the weight of regret. Regret over chances they never took. Relationships they lost. Failures they can't forget. Years they feel they wasted. Conversations they wish had gone differently. Decisions they wish they could undo. But no matter how badly you wish it, life doesn't move in reverse. It only moves forward. And if life keeps moving, then you must choose to move with it. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean pretending the past never happened. It doesn't erase the consequences or the lessons. It simply means refusing to let those moments decide the rest of your life. Forgiveness is giving yourself permission to breathe again, permission to rebuild, permission to become someone stronger than yesterday. You cannot heal while making yourself the enemy every single day. You cannot create a better future while constantly attacking yourself for your past. Some of the toughest battles are invisible because they happen inside your own mind. That inner voice whispers, "You've ruined everything. You'll never recover. You're not enough. You'll never become better." Don't believe it. Those thoughts are not telling you the truth. People are capable of change. People mature. People grow. You are not trapped where you are today. You are not finished. You have not been disqualified from the life you're meant to live. Your story is still being written. Never mistake one painful chapter for the ending of the entire book. Growth requires grace. Not the kind of grace that excuses bad choices, but the kind that understands meaningful change takes time. Growth demands honesty, the willingness to face reality without hiding from it. Growth requires discipline, the daily decision to become a little better than yesterday. And above all, growth requires courage, because healing is never easy. Healing asks you to release what you've been holding. Healing asks you to trust again after disappointment. Healing asks you to believe that tomorrow doesn't have to look like yesterday. That takes incredible courage. So forgive yourself, not because your mistakes were meaningless. They mattered. The pain mattered. The failures mattered. The lessons mattered. But your future matters even more. Remember that. Your future matters more. The person you're becoming deserves peace instead of constant punishment. Imagine the future version of yourself stronger, wiser, more focused, more disciplined, more resilient. That person deserves freedom. That person deserves healing. That person deserves the opportunity to keep growing. Stop allowing outdated versions of yourself to control who you are becoming. That former version of you existed to teach valuable lessons, not to become a lifelong prison. Your past delivered the lesson. Your future carries the purpose. Give yourself permission to evolve. Give yourself permission to become stronger, to become wiser, to become calmer, to become unshakable. Healing begins the moment you stop repeating, "I destroyed everything," and start saying, "I learned, I survived, I became stronger, and my journey isn't finished yet." How many times have you promised yourself that things would change? You tell yourself you'll finally start. Then you stop. You plan to take action. Then fear takes over. You say, "I'll begin on Monday." Then it's next month. Then next year. Then tomorrow. And before you realize it, years have disappeared. Dreams fade. Opportunities pass by. Not because you lacked ability, not because you weren't gifted, but because you kept postponing the very life you said you wanted. Understand this: every promise you break with yourself leaves a mark. When you say you'll wake up early but choose the snooze button instead, your mind notices. When you promise to work toward your goals but choose comfort instead, your mind notices. When you commit to growth but return to excuses, your mind notices. Every action teaches you something about yourself. Your subconscious remembers. Your spirit remembers. Your confidence remembers. Many people believe confidence is created by success. It's not. Confidence is built through self-trust. Self-trust is built through evidence. And evidence comes from action, not motivation, not temporary excitement. Action, motivation fades. Emotions rise and fall. Energy comes and goes. Discipline remains. Discipline keeps going long after motivation disappears. Discipline continues when excitement is gone. Discipline carries you through the days when feelings can't. Too many people wait until they feel ready. But readiness is an illusion. It rarely arrives before action. You become ready by taking the first step. Confidence grows through repetition. Trust grows through consistency. Wake up when you promised you would not because it's comfortable, but because your word matters. Train when your body wants excuses. Study when your mind wants distraction. Work when comfort calls your name. Show up on the days you least want to, especially on those days. Because greatness isn't created when everything feels easy. Character isn't built in comfort. Strength is developed every time you choose what is necessary instead of what is convenient. That is true power. Most people don't fall short because they lack talent. They fall short because they fail to remain consistent. Talent without discipline eventually fades. Potential without action never becomes reality. Dreams without effort disappear, and nothing destroys confidence faster than repeatedly breaking the promises you make to yourself. When you repeatedly promise yourself that you'll change, but never follow through, something important begins to happen. You slowly stop trusting your own words. You tell yourself, this time will be different. Yet deep inside, another voice quietly responds, you've said that before. It's not because you're incapable. It's because you've unintentionally taught yourself that your promises don't lead to action. That creates a difficult battle because you're no longer just facing life's challenges, you're also fighting against your own self-belief. But here's the good news. That trust can be rebuilt. Your discipline can return. Your confidence can grow again, not all at once, but one decision at a time, one habit at a time, one day at a time. Transformation doesn't begin with dramatic breakthroughs. It begins with small victories, quiet victories, the kind no one else notices. Wake up when you plan to. Drink the water you promised yourself. Read those pages. Take that walk. Finish the assignment. Make the phone call you've been avoiding. Send the email. Honor your word. Never underestimate the power of small commitments because they become the building blocks of extraordinary change. One good decision leads to another. Those choices become routines. Routines become habits. Habits become identity. And identity transforms your entire life. People often assume successful individuals possess some secret advantage or hidden talent. Most of the time, their greatest strength is much simpler. They learn to trust themselves by consistently doing what they said they would do. They mastered consistency. They developed discipline. They continued moving forward long after excitement disappeared. Because real growth rarely feels dramatic. Often it feels painfully slow. You work hard, and nothing seems different. You stay committed, yet the results remain invisible. You continue showing up, wondering if your effort even matters. Then one day, everything begins to shift. Not because success suddenly appeared overnight, because every ordinary day had been quietly preparing you for that moment. Success isn't created in a single breakthrough. It's built through daily choices. No one plants a seed today and expects a tree tomorrow. Growth requires patience. Strength requires patience. Confidence requires patience. Trust requires patience. Stop measuring your progress by overnight results. Don't abandon the process simply because it feels slower than you hoped. Even slow progress is still progress. Every step forward counts. So keep showing up. Again and again and again. There will be mornings when your body wants rest instead of effort. There will be days when doubt feels louder than belief. There will be moments when excuses seem completely reasonable. Those are the moments that shape your future. Anyone can work hard when motivation is high. But real winners continue when motivation has disappeared. If you want confidence, earn it through action. If you want discipline, practice it every day. If you want a different life, start creating it yourself. Not with wishes, not with speeches, with consistent action repeated every single day. Think about this. Why do you trust people who consistently keep their promises? Because they've earned that trust. So why should your own mind trust you if you repeatedly break your promises to yourself? Self-trust isn't automatic. It's earned. And no relationship deserves that trust more than the one you have with yourself. Every promise you keep strengthens that relationship. Every task you finish builds confidence. Every decision to choose progress over comfort makes you stronger. Every time you stay committed after the excitement fades, you become more focused, more resilient, and more certain of who you are. Your circumstances don't have to change first. You do. Discipline creates strength. Consistency creates belief. Commitment creates character. You don't need flawless perfection. You need reliability. Become someone you can depend on. Reliable in your habits. Reliable in your effort. Reliable in your discipline. Reliable in the promises you make yourself. Because difficult seasons will eventually come. There will be moments when motivation cannot rescue you. On those days, your habits will. Your discipline will. Your consistency will. The promises you honored during ordinary days will become the strength that carries you through extraordinary ones. Keep doing the right thing, even when no one notices. Especially then, because every promise you keep becomes undeniable proof. Proof that you can trust yourself. Proof that you're capable of growth. Proof that change is possible. Proof that you're becoming stronger. One choice at a time, one day at a time, one brick at a time. Not instantly, not overnight, but consistently. Until one day you look in the mirror and see someone you've learned to believe in again. Fear will always have something to say. It remembers every setback, every disappointment, every moment you stumbled. It appears whenever opportunity arrives, whenever growth begins, whenever life asks you to step into something unfamiliar. Fear sounds convincing. It tells you you're too late, too old, too damaged, too far behind. It reminds you of everyone who seems further ahead. It asks painful questions. What if you fail? What if people judge you? What if you're simply not enough? If you aren't careful, fear can become the loudest voice guiding your decisions. Many people never pursue the life they truly want, not because they lack intelligence, talent, or ability, but because they allowed fear to convince them that standing still was safer than moving forward. Fear teaches that comfort equals security, that avoiding risk equals wisdom, that waiting for the perfect moment is the smartest choice. Meanwhile, years quietly pass. Dreams slowly fade. Potential remains untouched. Not because life denied them the opportunity. Fear didn't stop you because it was stronger than you. It stopped you because you believed its voice. But fear rarely tells the truth. It focuses on failure instead of possibility, on risk instead of reward, and on doubt instead of potential. The life you want begins the moment you stop waiting to feel ready. Courage isn't about having no fear. It's about taking the next step even while fear is present. Every time you choose action over hesitation, you become stronger, wiser, and more confident. Life will test you with setbacks, disappointment, and uncertainty. But those moments don't define who you are. They reveal who you're becoming. Build your life on discipline, character, and resilience, not on other people's approval or perfect circumstances. Remember everything you've already survived. Those struggles didn't break you. They prepared you. Trust your growth, keep moving forward, and never let temporary pain convince you to abandon your purpose. One day you'll realize that every challenge was shaping you into someone strong enough to depend on yourself.